So, on the surface, the news sounds pretty routine, right? Russia and Iran are holding joint military exercises. You hear that, and you might just think it's more background noise in global politics. But according to one drone warfare expert, what we're seeing in plain sight, well, it might just be a cover for something way more serious. We're going to break down what they believe is really going on.
So that's the big question, isn't it? Are we just watching some standard military cooperation? Or is this the opening move in a much bigger and potentially much more dangerous strategic game? The analysis we're about to unpack suggests we really, really need to be looking closer.
All right, so to get to the bottom of this, we've got to look at two very different stories here. There's the official version, the one for public consumption, and then there's the hidden move that some experts think is actually happening right now. Okay, so here's the official story. These two nations are working together, they're running drills all out in the open. It's a public show of partnership, a show of force. But the real concern is what might be happening just behind that curtain. Under the veil. That's the key phrase, according to this expert. The claim is that Iran is using these drills as a perfect cover story to move its strike drones and reposition them along the coastline. You see, this isn't just practice anymore. This is positioning. And that, he says, is a straight-up escalation. So what we're watching isn't just a simple military exercise. It's being described as a high-stakes chess match, playing out in the skies over the region, where every single move is calculated and carries huge weight. To really get what Iran is allegedly doing, you have to understand this one critical concept: plausible deniability. The idea is, by moving these drones under the cover of a drill, Iran can test U.S. responses, maybe even take action, and then just shrug their shoulders. It makes it incredibly hard to prove they were ever involved. And if this whole "it's just a drill" playbook sounds familiar, well, it should. The expert draws a direct and, frankly, a pretty chilling parallel. Remember, before the invasion of Ukraine, Russia insisted its massive troop buildup was just for military drills. The argument here is that Iran is using the exact same script, using drills as a smokescreen for actual operational maneuvers. But here's the thing about a chess match. It takes two to play. While Iran is making its move, the U.S. has its own pieces on the board. And this isn't just about making a statement. It's an active, ongoing intelligence countermove. The key American asset in this game is the MQ-9 Reaper, but the expert really wants us to think about it differently. Forget just the strike drone part for a second. In this situation, its most powerful role is as a flying sensor hub, a super sophisticated eye in the sky designed to see right through that veil. So what is that flying sensor hub actually doing up there? Well, according to the expert, it's basically building a complete intelligence picture. It's mapping exactly where these Iranian drones are, it's figuring out their command and control systems, it's watching how they deploy their units, and even listening in to the frequencies they use. The US isn't just passively watching, it's actively learning. Now, to really understand why all of this is such a big deal, we have to talk about the conflict that has essentially become a real-time laboratory for this new kind of warfare, the war in Ukraine. This is such a crucial point in the analysis. The war in Ukraine has totally rewritten the rules on what drones can do on a battlefield. And, according to this expert, Iran hasn't just been watching from the sidelines. No, they've been taking meticulous notes and adapting every lesson they can for their own purposes. So, what are those lessons exactly? Well, the expert breaks it down into 4 huge takeaways. First, the power of layered attacks, mixing drones with traditional strikes, and even cyber warfare. Second, using drones for attrition, basically to bleed a more powerful enemy dry over time. Third, getting a deep understanding of countermeasures like jamming. And finally, number 4, maybe the most important, how to adapt and innovate with your drones on the fly. So here's the critical difference, and it all comes down to the why. The expert draws a really sharp line here. Ukraine is innovating with drones because they have to. It's a matter of national survival. Iran, on the other hand, is allegedly adapting these exact same lessons for a totally different reason, to get better at what the expert calls terrorism and destabilizing the entire region. Okay, so this all leads us to the end game. You've got Iran allegedly repositioning its drones under a veil of secrecy, and you've got the US gathering a mountain of intelligence. So what happens next? What's the recommended move? Given this whole situation, the deceptive playbook, the lessons learned from modern war, what does the expert believe the U.S. response ought to be? And it's not a small tweak. It's a call for a fundamental change in how the U.S. approaches this.
The recommendation is as clear and direct as it gets. Don't wait to get hit. The U.S. should be proactive. It should be preparing counterattacks right now and signaling very clearly that it is ready to act. The core message is that American resolve is not something to be tested.
And this whole situation just highlights the strange, blurry, new reality of modern conflict. When a military drill can actually be a deception, when a drone can be both a spy and a weapon, the line between just watching, preparing, and actually attacking gets incredibly thin. It leaves us all with a pretty heavy question. In this new age of drone warfare, what does the first move even look like anymore?